A Fox News alert for you. We are just hours away from the final debate in this presidential race. And while Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump get ready for round 3 in Las Vegas, WikiLeaks is trying to deliver a knockout punch of its own, releasing thousands more emails from the Clinton campaign chair, John Podesta. And joining me now is Gianno Caldwell. He's a Republican strategist and former director of African-American outreach for the DuPage County Republican Party, and Jessica Ehrlich. She is a former Democratic congressional candidate in Florida. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Good afternoon.
So, Gianno, I'll start with you. What do you think that the Trump campaign should do? Should Donald Trump address these WikiLeaks off the very start?
Absolutely. He has no choice. I think what we see is more troubling details about what the Hillary Clinton campaign has been doing and how they've attempted to cover it up every step of the way. I got to be honest here. I think we, as my fellow Republicans, have been bamboozled. They want us to hold Donald Trump accountable for his every word, condemn his every word, but they will not hold Hillary Clinton to the same standard. You will never see a leader in the Democratic Party who will call Hillary Clinton corrupt or a liar, and these WikiLeaks absolutely shows that. I want my fellow Republicans to think about this. The next time when there's another Republican candidate that comes around, although the Democrats are praising you right now, they would likely call that person a racist, and they will call you a racist for supporting said person. So we got to get smart here, because the Democrats are bamboozling us at this point.
And that's my question for Jessica. Anytime you can use the word bamboozle, I'm all for it. So are the Democrats bamboozling the Trump supporters?
No, I don't see that as happening right now. I think what they're doing is actually trying to build a coalition of people who are a little frightened by, the message that Trump is putting out there, a lot of the different, aggression and things that we've seen over and over again, and people who just don't, agree with his policies. And there are people who are not just Democrats, but independents and Republicans who believe that. I think a little bit of what, Jenny was saying here is it does fit into the Trump narrative. I'm sure we will hear it tonight that, these emails and the leaks we're seeing are from the people in the campaign themselves. So there are a lot of issues here regarding, the folks around Hillary, but we haven't really seen anything directly that she said. It's more the narrative of, okay, this is politics as usual. And the concern that's been voiced by a lot of people, both Republicans and Democrats, is the issue that this has been done by, Russians, that this will be brought up tonight, and that it could happen to anyone. This could just as easily happen at the RNC as it could at the DNC, or even with independent parties or the Green Party. Anyone this could happen to. So when that information comes out, there'll be a lot of, I think, similar talk on all sides.
Yeah, that does seem to be the train of thought whenever you talk to someone who is in support of Hillary Clinton. They either say, A, it got illegally, or B, Russia is involved. So, Gianno, how should he counter both of those? Because he'll know that that's coming.
My question is, when is it that the Democrats actually take accountability and responsibility for what's in those emails? Sure, maybe Russia did hack them. Who knows? But are you going to at least acknowledge that there's something wrong going on here? It's like you mentioned that Tim Kaine was being interviewed today, and they brought up the emails, and all he could talk about is Russia. So should we also be concerned with the fact that folks inside the Hillary Clinton campaign has called Latinos needy? I mean, these are sincere questions, not just about policy, but personality. And there's a candidate at the top named Hillary Clinton who has directed many of these individuals. I can only imagine the hypocrisy if it was Donald Trump. Even if it was ascertained illegally, what people would say. They wouldn't even mention the illegal part. They would talk about what Donald Trump or some staffers of his said. Yeah. So we have to have fairness and justice across the board.
I think that's the point, though, is that it's not what Hillary said. These are some staffers.
The candidates, because either of the candidates, when you talk about their personality, we've mentioned this several times, they both have very high unfavorables. But at the same time, we just did this Fox News poll, and we asked, who do you trust to do a better job changing the country for the better? They're practically tied, both of them pretty low. Clinton 47% and Trump 44%. So who can take this evening, let's just talk in general, the debate, and increase those numbers so that Americans, the undecideds and the independents, Jessica, will decide to vote for either or candidate?
Well, I think that's going to be what we have to wait and see. That's going to be so crucial for this evening. Is Trump going to be able to play on this message that he's the real political outsider and that this is sort of, politics as usual? And if you want that kind of real change that, well, we've been talking about, gosh, for, over 8 years now, that is that going to come from him or will it come from Hillary? And is she able to take that message and say, look, this is what I'm going to do and this is how I'm going to make things different? Or are they going to stay with the same sort of mudslinging back and forth and things that I really don't think a lot of voters want to hear, but it's Las Vegas. It's going to get wild. I mean, I think this is going to be, who could say?
Finally, they strongly support their candidate. If they support Hillary Clinton, they strongly support her. 67%, 64%. If you support Trump, they strongly support Trump. So you have to get over those undecideds.
Right. And 70% of Americans believe that this country is on the wrong track. And Donald Trump has recently been talking about D.C. is kind of a swamp. And we need to change that, as well as advocating for term limits on elected officials and bans on lobbyists, which is something that I think most Americans, whether they be Democrat, Republican, or independents, agree with. So if he can continue to build the case that Hillary Clinton is a career politician, for 30 years hasn't done much, and has been surrounded with scandal, he has made the case to the American people. And I think that's a winning message. He just has to make sure that he doesn't get caught up in Hillary Clinton throwing out allegation after allegation.
We will see. Can't believe we're finally here, the last debate.
The last one.
Thank you both for joining us. I know we'll all be watching tonight. Thanks.